As I speak to you, some heartbroken deities of our forefathers are locked up in the living room of a rich man somewhere in Europe. They still have their hands stretched out, waiting for sacrifice from us, their children. Instead, what they get every day is mockery from men and women who speak languages that our deities do not understand. These men and women stir a cocktail of whiskey and raspberry in our deities' tasty faces and puff some Cuban cigar on their ancient brows. Welcome to another episode of Urgent Care, where we treat matters too urgent to wait for tomorrow. I am Dr. Damages. So last week, two artifacts that belong to Africa were auctioned in Paris by the auction house, Christie's. The artifacts were parts of what our forefathers used to worship God. They were stolen from the southeast of Nigeria during the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War. Christie's sold them for about $240,000 to an unnamed collector. So for another 3 to 5 decades, these deities, left hungry and naked, will be slaves to some white masters. Sounds familiar? Of course, Christie said that they were not stolen. If they were stolen from a conflict zone, it would be against the Hague Convention of 1954 that banned dealings in antiquities from armed conflict zones. In 1970, UNESCO also banned trade in stolen artifacts. Now, Christie said that a French art collector, a friend of French President Jacques Chirac, acquired them from some local agent in Cameroon before shipping them to Europe. The man kept them in his private collection until he died, and his family decided to sell them to another collector. Didn't President Emmanuel Macron, the teacher's boy, promise in 2018 to return stolen African arts to the continent? They have over 20,000 of them in French museums. How did they get all of that? It is the same in British museums. How did the British get theirs? Stolen, of course. In an attack on Ethiopia in 1868, the British army plundered the artifacts in the palace of Emperor Theodosius II in Magdala. They used 15 elephants and 200 mules to transport the stolen artifacts. 15 elephants. In an attack at the Benin Empire in 1897, the British stole the Great Benin bronze artifacts. It's still in London. I know what you are thinking, that if they were not stolen, if they were in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa, that some end-time pastors or Islamic fundamentalists will have set those objects on fire in the name of a foreign god named Jesus or a foreign prophet named Muhammad. You're right. Those brainwashed pastors and Islamic fundamentalists have destroyed so many of these ancient objects in scores of shrines across Africa. These objects are our only connection to our past. They would have been worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars if they had been preserved. I know some of our people think these objects are powerless, impotent, but that does not make them worthless, and that does not make them useless. They are parts of our heritage, our history, and should reside in our home, Africa. Just like a prophet, not recognized by his own people, a work of art is often not recognized by its own inheritors. The dangerous people are those who think that these objects have negative powers. They are the ones who lead passionately misguided pastors and Islamic fundamentalists to the shrines of their forefathers to destroy them. Meanwhile, all over Europe, The same people who brought Christianity to us kept the objects their forefathers used to worship their God. Even in churches in Paris, London, Vatican, Madrid, you see these objects preserved for eternity. Somehow, we have become smarter than those who brought Christianity to us, that we boldly destroy the deities of our forefathers. Meanwhile, in China and Japan, they have continued to worship their God the way their forefathers did. It did not stop them from becoming technologically advanced. Black lives matter. We have to scream that Black lives matter because everyone, including Black people, devalues Black lives. Do you know why it is so? It is because Black people do not value their deities. We Black people have abandoned our deities by the roadsides, allowing kids and charlatans to play with them. No people are ever valued more than they value their deities. Foreign religions, just like most foreigners, are mere visitors who will go when it is time for them to go. The question is, will we still have anything left to follow when these foreign religions are gone? Will we? Africa, who did this to us? Who did this to us? Hi, if you live in the US, UK, Canada, Italy, Ireland, or Spain, and you send money to Nigeria, to Ghana, to Kenya, to Tanzania, or Uganda, you should download SendWave on your phone. SendWave is safe, secure, reliable, fast, and more importantly, it is fee-free. Absolutely no fees. For your first transaction, use the promo code DOCTOR and SendWave will add $5 or €5 or £5 to the money you send. Dash! Just because you know Dr. Damages. What are you waiting for? Here is how to do it.